You ready?
Shalom, Yahweh, once again, giving all praises to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash.
So, I mean, where do we begin?
So much going on.
No. As we all should know, there was that event that took place against Charlie Kirk in Utah. And I never knew who he was. You knew who he was before?
Yeah.
I never knew who he was.
I didn't put a name to the face, but I've seen his clips on the internet before.
I've never seen him. I never heard about him. Nothing. So it prompted me to do a little bit of research. And he was basically a guy that was trying to put Jake down, talking down on Jake, saying that all blacks are 14% of the population but commit over 50% of the crime and all that nonsense.
Right.
When historically speaking, so-called whites are the most violent people. Historically.
Right.
They're the ones who colonize, they're the ones who take people's lands, they're the ones who enslave people, right?
They're the ones that never committed genocide.
They're the ones who make atom bombs, ICBM missiles, nuclear missiles, all these various, military weapons, right? But yet somehow Jake is the problem. So the way I see it, he was just a career politician dude who said and did whatever he had to do just to cater to a group of people that would listen to him. And that's them right-wing maggers.
He was just a talking head. Like, he wasn't getting no news coverage until he got smoked. Like, he was really a low guy on the totem pole. Like, he was a nobody, really.
But he had to have been somebody if he was able to do a speech at a college, right? So he was somebody. So, I mean, there's all different types of reasons why people think he got smoked. I heard that he started speaking on the small hats, speaking against the small hats. So maybe they're the ones who are behind it. You know what I mean? Because if you got a right-wing guy that's with the MAGAs and, the type of folks, then I look at it like the elites, which are really the small hats. They run the government, they control the politicians, they're the lobbyists. So they're not ready for the MAGAs to be flipped on. They still want to use them, play on their emotions. So if you got a guy that's on the right wing, that's speaking against the small hats, they're gonna be like, nah, we gotta stop this.
Right.
We don't need this right now. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a possibility why he got his TV turned off, like Hassan Campbell would say.
Yeah, that's what he said. This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 16. It says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit.
Yeah, be not drunk with wine, meaning philosophies. So part of those philosophies is believing in politics, two-party system. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people really put their trust and faith into these politicians, whereas we never have. So these is critical times that we're living in. It seems like every other week or every week, there's a new title in the headline. So it makes you wonder, like, what's the rest of this year going to look like?
Right.
The last 4 months or so. And I was talking to you earlier. I was like, yo, this year flew by quick.
I remember we was talking at the top of the year, and then now we're like, damn, at the last quarter, it's just that fast. Like, where'd the time go?
Yeah. It's like, really, what happens? What happens to all the time? That's a good thing for us, I pray that the Most High, he just hurries up and push the button. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop allowing Esau to drag their feet with the MOTB. Just hurry up with the damn chip. Just hurry up. Bring it on. And then hurry up with World War III too.
Matthew 24 and 22. It says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened, shall be shortened.
That's a good one, because if the days aren't shortened, if the days are prolonged, then none of us is going to make it home. None of us. Because the way that this system is headed towards, it's headed down a road where it's really going to be no way for us to survive. Like, people think that there's really, like, no way to make now. Just let this go on. Let it keep going on. Ain't going to be no way. You know, here it is in 2025. You got people that live in houses or apartments, and there'd be like 10 cars, 5 cars in front of the house, you know what I'm saying? Because it's damn near impossible to make it on your own. You know, they say in order to make 6 figures now, you got to make over 125,000, 126,000 for that to equate to 100,000. And it don't let you have any children.
I was reading like an article a few months ago. It said to raise a child from, birth to 18 years old is like $800,000, or it was $800,000 or $1 million, something like that. That was the range. So imagine you have 2 and 3 kids. Yeah. Shit, like how is anybody affording this?
But that's really like the worst part of this kingdom. It's like the financial hell that we have to go through. Because if we had money, then this kingdom really wouldn't be so bad to us, would it? You know what I'm saying? Because money is like a means to an end. The scriptures say that money is like a defense. So that's why when you try to kick this truth or this knowledge to somebody who's rich Jake, they don't receive it. They don't think much of it.
I gotta start up some. Let's start at the 19th verse, Matthew 24 and 19. It says, and woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
Yeah, because nowadays it's like you're lucky if you don't have any children.
Right.
Having a child now is like a curse.
A burden.
And that's sad because the scripture said to be fruitful and multiply.
And I've heard people with children say that out their own mouth, like having a child is a burden in this society right now. Because one, you can't raise your child the way you want to because of all this outside influence.
And then also, once you send them off to school, then you no longer have any control over them.
Right. At that point, when they get home, you just got to deprogram them to the bullshit they done learned in them schools. Right. And who has time for that? You got to go to work.
You over there still trying to balance your own self. You worked all day, you come home, you're tired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You feel like you got to protect your energy. But at the same time, you feel like, well, you got to still keep going to make sure everybody else is good within your household. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not good, then how's everybody else going to be good? So that's why a lot of people in society are just stressed out.
It says, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened.
So they talk about Agenda 2030. 2030, within the next 1 to 5 years, there's not going to be like any more jobs left. They said like over 70% of jobs are going to be eliminated or something like that. AI is taking over. So what is that going to mean for the masses of people? Are they just going to foreclose on their mortgages? Are they going to give up their houses? Are they going to give up their cars? Like, how is that going to work with the deficit as well? So that's why I could see them coming out with like a great reset of this financial system.
I mean, it's so strategic. Like the people, the citizens, they're going to be begging for it.
Yep.
They're going to be begging for some sort of relief. And here it is, the Democrats, they completely destroy the system that's running.
And the Republicans as well.
And yeah, that is the Republicans that come into office as the savior, trying to save everybody, put everything back in its right order. But it's all done like that strategically.
To destroy the economy.
Right. And Then when they roll out that MOTB, people are going to be in such dire straits, they're going to be begging for it to have some sense of normalcy again.
That's why, as much as I dislike to say it, we can still be a ways from the MOTB.
Yeah.
Because the way the elites is moving, they're not really like in a rush to come out with the MOTB because they've been dragging their feet on it for years.
That's why I'm just going to take that one event, and I think that's just going to catapult it,
Yeah.
People really ain't having it.
Because really, first is going to come the CBDC system, central bank digital currency. They're going to roll that out. And then eventually, they're going to ship everybody. So it's going to come in phases. That's how they move with everything. They roll in phases.
Here it is, it's year 2025. Look how everybody's struggling. It makes 2020 look like 1997.
And I'm sure they're enjoying this too, watching everybody struggle.
Right.
Because the way things is looking, they want everybody to just go broke, and so that the billionaires and trillionaires can buy up everything. You will own nothing.
Here it is in this society. You have to have at least 2 jobs to really make it. It's like to get ahead. When was that ever the case in the years prior? Like 2 jobs, you just wanted extra money. But now it's mandatory, it's a necessity. You're gonna have to have 2 streams of income coming in.
2 jobs, or either you got like a one good job that pays you well,
And a woman.
and that dual income, which is few and in between. Because nowadays it's hard to build a solid relationship with anybody in this society.
Right.
The scripture said that the love of many shall wax cold. So it's like, as the days dwindle and as times get rougher, it's going to be harder to trust people. So you're not going to really be eager to build a relationship with somebody or put your trust into them. Because you may think they're going to cross you eventually or leave you for dead. So in a way, you are better off just doing your own thing. I remember Apostle Tahari did a video not too long ago, and I learned, he brought it out, how it's better for you to be a sigma male as opposed to an alpha male. Because a sigma male is one that embraces the lone wolf and being by themselves, being strong.
Oh, Sigma?
Yeah, look it up.
I think I heard of it.
Look it up.
Sigma male is popular slang term from the manosphere for a self-reliant, independent lone wolf who operates outside of traditional masculine social hierarchies, such as the one where alpha males are dominant. These men are seen as successful and attractive, but prefer to live life on their own terms, valuing freedom and self-sufficiency over seeking validation or status. It says key traits of Sigma male: independent, self-reliant, lone wolf, introspective and private, non-conformist, mysterious, confident in solitude, quiet leaders.
So that sounds like myself.
Right.
That sounds like every brother that's like in this truth, versus an alpha male stays outside, social hierarchy by choice. Wait, no. Alpha male stays on the top of the social hierarchy. So it's like we're not looking for validation
Right.
from our peers.
We don't even like talking to people.
Right. Alpha male conforms to expectations, likes to be the leader of a group. When is the last time you've ever volunteered to be a leader of a project or a group? If anything, you'd be straying away. Nah, I'd rather just do my own thing.
Right.
Because if I fail, I fail. At least I do it on my own, right? Or if you
It's
fall, then it ain't gonna be because of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Read that last one again.
Likes to be a leader of a group.
Before that one.
Oh, conforms to expectations.
See, you're gonna be expected to take that MOTB, especially if you're a man with a woman and family.
Yeah, yeah.
But the Sigma male, he's gonna go against it. He's not going to conform. He's gonna go his own way and do his own thing. And that's the spirit you gotta be in. Fuck what the world thinks of you. Cause they don't know no better. We know better. If they knew any better, they would get right.
Well put, brother. It also says comfortable being around others. You be to a point where you don't even like being around people.
Right. Like really, like I just get in and anywhere I go, I know what I'm there for and I'm trying to just get in and get out. Like I'm not one of those people that go to the grocery store and just walk around. Like I go in there, I know exactly what I want and I'm in and I'm out. Like I don't like socializing with people. One, these people got demons on them. And these people really just will vex your spirit. Because they don't know no better. They think they know something when they don't know anything. And that's the vexing part about it.
And you're also operating on a higher frequency and vibration than them.
Right.
Than the average person. So there's really not much you can say or do with them. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that you may be into or what galvanizes you doesn't affect them the same way. So that's why, as a Sigma male, there's more value and strength in them. Because you're not predicating your validation on your peers. You just move to your own beat, you do your own thing, and you're strong. And it's better that way anyway, because when all hell breaks loose, all you're really gonna have is yourself and the Most High. That's it. Or, you may have created relationships and bonds with other brothers that's in this knowledge, you know what I mean? And, you can roll with people like that, but don't expect much from your family members or from friends that you're in the world with, you know what I mean? Because when that MOTB comes out, a lot of people's just gonna fold. They're gonna fold under pressure. When they can't go to the store and buy food to eat, when they're starving, when they're hungry, they're gonna cop out.
Right.
They're gonna do whatever it takes because they're not gonna see the way out like we see it.
Because they think America is gonna go on forever. They don't understand that the Lord is coming to destroy America. People don't understand that because the Christian church and none of these other religions are teaching you that. They're teaching you that America is going to be here forever, especially in the Christian church. They tell you to get yourself together, build wealth, leave some substance here for your children, build financial wealth so you can have financial freedom and all that nonsense.
Man, everybody's chasing after financial freedom, but how many people consider that they've achieved it? Only the 1% of the population.
Right.
So you trying to chase after the 1%, I mean, it's a high probability that you're gonna fail. That's just facts. So you're better off just putting your trust and your treasures, building your treasures in the kingdom of heaven. Just focus on that. So for alpha male, it also says that they're outgoing. So does that sound like somebody that's in this knowledge and this truth?
It really sounds like a people pleaser.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Being an outgoing person.
Most people, they don't deserve your kindness. When you really understand it, like
A lot of people don't deserve your energy.
right. And then when you give it to them, they don't really appreciate it the way they should. So that's why you just fall back and do your own thing.
Because at least if it's just you, it's just you that you got to deal with yourself.
Right.
Whereas somebody that you're dealing with, they could let you down. They could double cross you. And it sounds like it's a better option just betting on yourself. Because in this society, man, you really can't trust them. Everybody's out for self. Everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody has their secret hidden agenda.
And imagine when times get really bad where you can't even get anything to eat. Like, you got nowhere to live.
Everybody has their own values as well. in America, people don't share the same values.
Right.
They don't.
It's Jeremiah 30:7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it."
Yeah, Jacob's trouble.
For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve the Lord their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them.
Yeah, and that hasn't been fulfilled.
See, and that's what the elect is waiting for. You think that's what these people in the world are waiting for? All they looking for is a payday, a get-rich-quick scheme or something. To become rich overnight. All right, you as well. To be rich overnight. You see, people aren't looking for salvation. They're not even concerned with it.
Yeah, and that's what we ultimately long for in salvation, because we're tired of living in this society.
Because we know this shit is just fucked up and backwards. And we don't want nothing here because everything is tainted. No matter what it is, everything is tainted here. You'll never have it the way you want it until we get into the kingdom of heaven. That's when we'll be having it our way. And the kingdom of heaven is going to be established here on the earth.
Because in this society, there's always going to be something you got to worry about.
Right.
Like whether you have children, whether you have a job. You know, if you have children, you got to hope that when they step out into the world, you know, they stand the test of time. Like all that time and energy that you put into raising them, you know, they end up being stand-up individuals.
Right.
You know, the scriptures say, train up a child
In the way they should go.
yeah, and they shall not depart. But in this society, I mean, is that really a guarantee?
There's too much outside influences. They're outside in the free world longer than they're inside the home. So how can you really establish values like that? And then you add social media in the mix. Come on. Even you tell your child, no, you can't have social media. As long as they have a cell phone, they're gonna sneak and make a social media account. You can't keep them from that. You can't shield your children from this shit here. These kids now, they're 13 going on 30. They know way too much, way too early.
You're getting smartphones at an early young age, tablets,
Right.
which really rots their brains and makes them dumber.
Exactly. They're being exposed to things that children shouldn't be exposed to. And they don't even know how to deal with the things they're seeing or going through either. So that's why we just gotta get the fuck out of here.
You really can't raise your child like this is the ancient world.
Right. There's too much outside influence. Like back in the ancient world, your daughter, she will have supervision 24/7. If she was at home, there'll be people with her. She walked to the store, she'll have a chaperone with her. There wouldn't be anywhere she'd just go by herself. Like, but in this world, that's the normal. That's the norm.
Demon.
This is his kingdom. See, he's enjoying his heaven right now. Like look at this shit.
Everybody's looking at him like he's stupid.
Right.
It's like, what do you gain from that? That's my logic with life.
How does that serve you?
Like, what do I gain from whatever I'm doing?
Right. And how does this serve you?
What if it's going to be the end result? And if the end result is attracting unnecessary attention to myself by doing that, then it's not worth it. And that dude is a fool.
10 tribes. What you gonna do? You got preach up?
Yeah. Philippians 4:6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything be by verse 6, Philippians 4. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made unto the Most High Yahweh. And the peace of Yahweh, which passes all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Mashiach Yahushua. So nowadays, it's like you really got to be prayed up. I got another one, Matthew 6:31. Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? What shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things be the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knows that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So don't worry about like how you're gonna eat, how you're gonna live, how you're gonna survive. Because ultimately, if the Most High is with you, he's gonna set you up and put you in a position so where that you get your daily bread. You know, you get just enough to keep going. That's really the most that you can ask for in this society. Like, you know, we talk about it all the time about we don't really ask for much in this life. You know what I'm saying? We just want basic necessities. You know what I mean? We're not asking for the world.
Right.
We don't want $5 million, $50 million, so that we can buy a lavish mansion.
Bunch of women.
Right. Or be like Neo. That dude got like 4 girlfriends. He's living like a king. But he could do that because he got the money. But it's like at the same time, no, we don't even want that right now.
These women are tainted anyway. It's not
They
worth it.
They're really like concubines.
Yeah, this shit ain't worth fighting for, like, at all.
Got more. Matthew 6:33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High Yahweh and his righteousness. All these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. So in other words, just take it day by day. Don't so much worry about tomorrow, even though it's very easy to fall into that. But you have to try to find ways to bring ease to your mind. One of the ways to do that is by meditating in this truth, this knowledge. You know, because it really helps stabilize you. You know, that's another reason why people are so rogue in this society. Because when people are in fear, they make rash decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when people are living in poverty, there tends to be a higher crime rate. And that's the narrative that these maggers or these right-wing guys go with. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, look at them. They commit all these crimes, these high amounts of crimes. Well, do you think that it would be that way, according to your logic, if, you know, there were better economic conditions? Most likely no.
That's why crime is committed, because people don't have it. Poverty level. That's why you see the most crime in low-income neighborhoods. You don't see fucking high crime rates in Beverly Hills. You see people breaking into people's house. Why? Because they don't have it, and the houses they breaking in got it. The people got it.
So in surmise, Jake is the problem.
Right.
But who's the one who creates the environment for there to be high levels of crime
Exactly.
to begin with?
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right.
This is Matthew 6:33 in the NLT. Seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries.
I just read that.
Oh, you did? Yeah, in the NLT. It sounds fire in the NLT. It says today's troubles is enough for today. So again, just worry about it. Worry about today. Take it day by day, because tomorrow isn't promised. Here you are stressing about tomorrow, and your ass ain't even gonna get to see tomorrow.
Which might be better that way for some people.
is Isaiah 65:13. It says, therefore thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And you see, you're going to get the reward if you are a servant of the Lord. If you out here doing the will of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Because the times that we're entering into, it's about to get real bad. So how are you going to find clothes, shelter, sustenance? You're going to have to pray to the Lord and just have faith in the Lord. Because these people that's just out here, just NPCs, as people would say, not knowing what's going on or, what they're just even here for, what the will, what their purpose is, they're going to be lost in that day. Those are going to be the people that's going to break into your shit and try and just take what you have if they don't have no faith.
Because what did I just say? When people are desperate, they make rash decisions. They act out of fear. I got a scripture. 2 Timothy 1:7. For the Most High has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So, are we going to be the ones who's operating out of fear and out of rational thought and action once all hell breaks loose, once the society collapses? No, hopefully not. I'll read that again. 2 Timothy 1:7. For the Most High has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So even when the world goes into chaos, we're not going to really be the ones that's out here committing crimes against, other brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? That's going to be the rogue individuals that are acting out of desperation. You know what I'm saying? Because we know in our heart that the Lord is going to provide for us, or at least that's what we hope. That's our faith. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to have to go and, trespass against our neighbors, transgress against them. You know what I'm saying? And that's never been our MO anyway, even now. We don't abuse people, man. Right. We don't try to get over on people, especially our own people. We try to do right by everybody.
This is Ecclesiastes 8:3. It says, be not hasty to go out of his sight. Stand not in an evil thing, for he doeth whatever pleaseth him. Where the word of a king is, there is power, and who may say unto him, what doest thou? Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment.
That's a lot to unpack there. Read that again.
All right. This is Ecclesiastes. I'm reading the NLT. See how it reads. This is Ecclesiastes 8:3 in the NLT. It says, don't try to avoid doing your duty, and don't stand with those who plot evil.
Yeah, don't stand with those who plot evil. Because at the end of the day, you're going to go down with them. That's why it's better to be a Sigma male.
Right.
Don't try to chase validation from your peers and be down with them. You know what I'm saying? They be like, oh yeah, come over here with us. Yeah, we got this little thing going on. We over here getting this paper. But yeah, we got to do this, we got to do that. Yeah.
Cracking cards.
It might be this risk, but it's worth it, you know what I mean? And what happens when that fails and it doesn't work out for you? Then you just go down with them.
I remember I was a couple months ago, I was at a Walgreens, and these two, it was like a nigga and a dyke. They walked into the Walgreens and they was dead ass cracking cards. They was just getting $500 gift cards. They each got 5 apiece, and they did them in single transactions. They'll buy one $500 card and be like, all right, give me another one. Swipe the card, you get that one, all right, give me another one. And it's yo, look at how y'all living, and it's for what? It's people are so headstrong on money in this society. One, because that's how Esau got it set up. You don't have money, you struggling. But it's like, look up, people are willing to do anything for it,
Risk their freedom, risk their life.
right? For money.
That's why I'm a proponent of just living off the land. I would much rather have been raised into a lifestyle like that than participating in this capitalist system.
Right.
You know, having to go clock in every day and make somebody else richer. You know, like what type of life is that to live?
If you're born in America, that's not a choice that you get to make. That's a choice that's made for you.
Exactly.
What you gonna do? Not go get a job? What you gonna do? Not get no money? What you gonna have? You gonna have nothing.
And that's why you've always had a lot of people over the years immigrate to America, you know, to make money, to build a life. You know, some even made money and then sent it back to the other country so that they could buy land over there. Because there are no economic opportunities in these other nations, like, you know, South America, you know, places like that. Which is ironic because countries like in those regions, they're very rich in resources. So you would think that they would have an economy, but no, because the white man has control over the world, they'll shut out nations from the world economy, and that's the problem with Haiti. You know, they've been shut out from the world's economy, and as a result of that, they're the poorest country in the southern hemisphere.
And if any nation shows some pushback, they take out that leader and put in their own puppet leader that's just gonna do whatever they say.
Oh yeah, and then you seen what happened with Trump and Venezuela. They're trying to go to war with each other, basically.
Which is no fight at all.
Yeah. But you know, the U.S. they want the Venezuelan resources because I think Venezuela has the top oil reserve in the world. I think Venezuela's number one, and I think Saudi Arabia's number two.
Yeah.
Or it could be mixed up. I'm not sure.
No, I believe so. Venezuela.
Yeah. So, who wouldn't want that, right? Who wouldn't want access to the most abundant amount of oil in the world?
It helps forward your kingdom. When you take all the resources for yourself and you are, you know, the main holder of all the resources, everybody got to come to you now.
Everybody has to go through you, and that's the power right there that helps you stay on top. And now it's like we're seeing how the U.S. is dwindling. Like their power and their time is dwindling. And I did a little bit of research on, you ever heard of stablecoin? So stablecoin is basically going to be tied to the digital currency, and it's like the U.S. dollar going digital, essentially. So they're going to come out with stablecoin, and they're going to try to monopolize that, so that these other countries are going to have to go through that, and eventually it's going to lead to the microchip.
This is back in the Ecclesiastes 8:2 in the NLT. It says, "Obey the king since you vowed to God that you would. Don't try to avoid doing your duty, and don't stand with those who plot evil, for the king can do whatever he wants."
Yeah, the king can do whatever he wants. I mean, you have a dude in office right now who's essentially doing whatever he wants. Even though we know that these politicians just vote off anyway. You know, they're just following the orders from the elites. However, the things that, you know, he's doing is going against the Constitution. It's violating civil rights. And nothing's really being done about it.
It says, "His commandments is backed by great power. No one can resist or question it. Those who obey him will not be punished. Those who are wise will find a time and a way to do what is right."
Yeah, do the right thing. And you know, I was getting some Benjamin food the other day, and the dude was talking about how with these tariffs, the price of supplies is going up. So he said eventually he's gonna have no choice but to stop selling Aki. Because I actually wrote it down when he was saying, is. So the price of Aki is going to like $250 now,
For like how much?
like a case.
Yeah, it just doesn't make financial sense. We ain't making little to no profit, so why bother?
So Aki bulk is 100. Now it's 250.
Damn. It's a hell of an increase.
They said jerk seasoning went from like $10 to like $40 now.
Man, that's just gonna shut down business.
Because all that stuff is imported.
Yeah.
So it's really like the wild, wild west. Like a lot of these companies, they're not gonna want to pay the tariffs. They're not willing to pay the tariffs.
And you're gonna find that in every industry.
So either a company's gonna pass the cost down to consumers or they're not, and then they may owe money. That's a decision these businesses are gonna have to make. And if you're in a restaurant, another decision you're gonna have to make is it worth staying in business?
It's gonna shut you out of business. Ain't nobody paying $50 for no goddamn oxtail plate.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said these tariffs is gonna put everybody out of business. So that's what put fear into a lot of people's hearts. Like, what is the future holds?
Right.
Are you gonna try to really stay here and build a life here? Or are you just gonna say, to hell with this, I'm leaving America? And that's what a lot of people are doing. I heard a lot of people selling their homes, they're selling their cars, and they're getting the hell out of here.
I do see that. I do see a lot of like those housing, like the signs in front of the houses, like for sale signs. Like I've been seeing that a lot. And
Because like I said, I've been saying this. What's the difference between the United States and a third world country now? When we're living in the combined increments here. You got 5-10 niggas living in the same house, the same apartment. 5 cars parked up in front of the house, you know what I'm saying? 7 cars. So it's like, you're really not gaining much by staying here. You're better off just taking whatever little you have left here and just leaving, going back to your own country. I believe it says that in Jeremiah.
I'm gonna continue on this. There's only 2 more. There's Ecclesiastes 8:6 in the NLT. It says, "For there is a time and a way for everything, even when a person is in trouble. Indeed, how can people avoid what they don't know is going to happen? None of us can hold back our spirit from departing. None of us has the power to prevent the day of our death. There is no escaping that obligation, that dark battle, and in the face of death, wickedness will certainly not rescue the wicked." That's it on that.
Alright, this is Jeremiah 50:16 in the NLT. "Take from Babylon all those who plant crops." What's Esau doing? What's his administration doing? They're deporting all these people that work in these farms. Which Americans don't want to do. They don't want to work these farms. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be trained as a child to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
You're not just about to just be a grown ass man in your 30s, about to just do farm work.
And then it's like these policies have had a direct effect on farmers because now they can't afford to keep up with the harvest. So if they can't keep up with the harvest, then how are they going to sell their crops? If they can't sell their crops, then how are they going to make money? If they don't make money, then how are they going to be able to possess their land, maintain their land?
How are they gonna fill them grocery stores?
Exactly. So a lot of the stuff that we see going on by this administration, it doesn't logically make sense. Other than for this to just be a controlled demolition.
Exactly, that lets you know it's strategic. This shit is not by accident.
Jeremiah 50:16. "Take from Babylon all those who plant crops. Send all the harvesters away." You know, people gotta send back to Mexico, South America, whatever country they from. Because of the sword of the enemy, everyone will run away and rush back to their own lands. And so now we see this devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. A lot of people, they really are leaving America. People are finding out that the new American dream is to just get out of here, or just build another life someplace else. And that's what we would do. But we got unfinished business. Like, we stand
says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And like you said, people are getting out of here. They're fleeing physically, but us, we fled mentally. Like, we know the fate of America, and this place has nothing to offer us or anybody else. But we aren't going to flee to another land, because one, you can't escape the curses. And if the Lord wants to get you, he's going to get you wherever you go. It's better to just stand 10 toes down and stand on faith. And Lord's will, when all hell breaks loose, we have that covering, that hedge of protection over us.
Yeah, right.
That's why we're out here doing this work. Because we believe that in the times to come, you know, the Lord is going to make himself known unto us, you know, more so than he has already.
But you know, analytically speaking, like, this country's at a light years better than the U.S. to live in right now, currently. There really ain't no denying.
Yeah, America is just marketing. I say that all the time. Like the American dream and all that shit, it was all just marketing.
Yeah, like you could buy a house in Japan for $80,000.
And something nice too.
$100,000. You could buy a nice house. Whereas the average cost of a home in the United States is $500,000. $800,000.
Right.
Some places $1 million. California.
Right.
Who the hell's affording that? That's overpriced.
And it's not even like it's somewhere nice either.
Paying $700,000 for some place in the hood.
Right. A fixer-upper at that.
No. House isn't even that big. Don't even got an in-car garage. It could be 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. And you know, the average person, when they buy a house and they start a family, they're not buying it just to have one child.
Right.
If you was gonna do that, you could have just stayed in an apartment. You know, they want to have 2, 3 children. Give the children siblings. Because that way, if anything ever happens to the parents, at least the siblings will have each other. You know what I'm saying? But like we were saying, like there's always something you gotta worry about in this society. It's really hard to sustain yourself. So that's why you don't really chase after the most you can get in this world. You know, just be glad with the little victories that you have, because honestly speaking, that's as good as it's gonna get from many people. You know, because when you try to sell your soul, chase after money, it never ends well. It's not going to.
And it's like a never-ending cycle, because the more you make, now the more you spend. And now you gotta sustain this lifestyle you done acquired. Now you gotta make even more money. It's like you're never gonna be satisfied.
Yeah, like to get to that job that makes 6 figures, you most likely have to go to college and accumulate that.
Yep.
That's just facts.
Right.
So when you're $80,000 in debt, $60,000 in debt, maybe less.
That's a good end.
Yeah.
But you're trying to go get your masters and all that, you're looking at 6 figures worth of debt and shit.
Yeah. So when you're in an absurd amount of debt, I mean, how much money are you really taking home? How much are you holding on to? Even though, yeah, on paper you're making over $100,000 a year. But it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And that's what they be talking about. How, like, yeah, everything's so cheap in Mexico, the price of the groceries is cheap. But at the same time, though, like, they don't make much money per day on the jobs. So that's why, if that's the case, if you got money over here in the U.S., you could take your money here, sell your house, do whatever you gotta do, and then move to a country like Mexico. You live like a king.
That's why America is known as the Great Hoard. You just pimp out this bitch. You just get your money here and you go somewhere else. You don't try and build a life in this motherfucker.
Yeah, sister said that.
Y'all trying to stay here and fall in love with this bitch. You just handle your business and you go. Do what you gotta do and jet.
It's Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind the mill, and cover thy locks. make bare the legs, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So, in these last days, America is being exposed to what it really is. You know, it's just a place you come to exploit people or to be exploited.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Get in, make your money, and get out.
I did a lesson on it maybe like a few weeks ago on how equality is a low goal here. Cause gonna exploit people like the white man? That's all you're gonna do here trying to get ahead. You're just gonna be exploiting people like Esau be exploiting people just to get ahead. That's all it is in America. That's what capitalism is. 80% have to fail for the 20% to succeed. I guess people really don't understand that concept. As long as people got a job to go to, they're okay. No matter what level the job is at. Make a minimum wage. They just happy to have a job now. That's how bad things are in this society.
They never wanted us to make it.
Right. This is Micah 2:10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." Again, everything here in America is tainted. Nothing is pure here. We're not even pure here. There's nothing here that's worth fighting for. It says, "If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Basra, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men." That's another point. So again, there's more than America. Like, there's more than this. Like, there's something. If you're an Israelite, if you see yourself on this sign, we have great promise coming to us. So it ain't worth trying to advance yourself here in America, because it's going to be destroyed. And then on top of that, to get ahead, you got to work too damn hard, to the point where you have no time for yourself. Is that really a life worth living? Here it is, you making all this money, you don't even got time to enjoy it. Here it is, you got a family, you don't got time to spend with them.
Yeah, because if you're making a lot of money per year, most likely the job is putting more demand on you.
Exactly.
Or, you might have a base salary, but your salary may increase because of overtime. So you're really trading your free time that you otherwise have for money to make more money.
That's all the job is. You're selling your time. That's it. And whoever got rich working a job.
For so long people were accepting it. Because back in the days, you can have a job and still be able to maintain. You still got some money left over for recreational use, or you can save. But a lot of people, they're having a hard time, saving money, or being able to afford a vacation or a trip. You know what I mean? And that's the worst hole that you could be stuck in.
That's why people work in 2 or 3 jobs to try and get ahead.
Like, the worst is when you get paid and then you already know where your money's going before you even get it.
All right. One, they already taking money out your check before you even see it. And then on top of that, now you got to pay bills with what you had, the remnant you have left. So imagine I always say this, imagine you get your check and you get your whole check. Everything that you worked, every hour you worked, you got paid for it. Nothing was getting taken out of your check. You'll be all right. You'll be in a better positioning. But here it is, you make let's say $350, they taking $65 out that check. You see?
I always thought how Jake really shouldn't have to pay income tax.
Right.
Because Jake was supposed to receive reparations. Remember the United States government, they really said that. They said, yeah, you gotta get your 40 acres and a mule. But never got it. That was out of the United States. But yet, when the conversation of reparations comes up, got these Edomites that they want to dismiss it. They want to shoot it down. And they'll be like, oh, I wasn't the one who did it. Oh, were you the one who was enslaved?
Right.
And that goes to show you like how selfish that they are. You know what I mean? Because it's like, how would you feel if your people was enslaved and had to work for free for hundreds of years, and then even after they were quote unquote freed, they still had to deal with civil rights issues, which made it hard for them to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like these Edomites, they have a 400-year head start on us.
Right. Like here it is.
Like,
They
really let that sink in.
Here it is. They benefiting from what happened 500 years ago, and we're still suffering from what happened 500 years ago.
Exactly.
So what you mean? It wasn't you. It wasn't you either that was put. Well, yeah, it wasn't you that had, slaves, but ultimately you benefited from it till this day, and we're still suffering from it till this day.
Like really, like Jake didn't start getting civil rights until like the last 70 years or so. From like the last 60, 70 years. So that's not that long.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors." So you see, like all the free labor that they got out of us, it would only be right to settle the score, but they don't even acknowledge it, like it never happened.
That's why they're getting rid of these museums.
They tell you to get over it.
Remember Trump? He signed an order. He's saying, yeah, we're not funding these museums anymore. That remind people of the hardship of slavery. They don't want to teach the correct history anymore in schools. They just want to sweep it under the rug.
That was the point. This is Ecclesiasticus 10 and 8. It says, "Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another." And who fits that MO? Who was the one that went into other people's lands, raided their lands, committed genocide on people, took all the resources for themselves, and advanced their nation? We all know who it was. But here it is, he'll tell you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
This is like a hell of a society that we live in. Like it's so much to deal with on a daily basis.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yet we're still here because they can't break our spirit. They're like roaches. Can't kill us all.
I'll start at the top. This is 2 Timothy 2 and 1. It says, "Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Yahushua, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses. The same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua."
Yeah, because the hope when you teach this knowledge is that, somebody listens and they pass it on. Because that's what happened to us. Like, the apostles, they learned from somebody or from great men, and then they passed it on as well. So imagine if that chain was broken, like nobody passed it on, it just ceased.
Right.
Then where would we be? Like, what progress would we have made?
Right. You back in the wilderness again. Fucked up.
So that's it on that one.
Nah, one more verse. It says, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life."
The affairs of this life.
says that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier.
Yeah, so really, your top priority should be putting the Most High first. Don't chase after things of this world, because it's not gonna get you where you want to be, like you think, like you may think. People prioritize chasing money and putting that first. When the scriptures say money is the root of all evil, the love of money is the root of all evil. So why would you put that first? You know what I mean? Just put the Most High first, and then everything else will be as follows. And then on top of that, the Most High will give you more.
Right.
He'll bless you. You see, we're gonna get everything that we want, everything that our heart desires on the back end, in the kingdom of heaven. We're not looking for it now or in this moment.
And you can't do both. Any man that tries to do both, you're lying to yourself. Because you're going to fall into one more than the other. And it's going to be the money, because why? The money is serving you right now. You're getting something out of it right now. But this truth, this faith, is going to be a reward on the back end. And that's what it's all about. That's it. We can really read this whole chapter. That's it on that.
So we're going to close on that. Shalom.
Shalom.